it was impossible. Like, I truly thought that I might have been, you know, the Virgin Mary. Well, hello YouTube, it's your girl Zhane coming at you with another video, and this video is it's gonna be very hard for me, so y'all just bear with me, and we'll get through this together. So without further ado, if you guys want to know the surprising news, then just keep on watching. Alright guys, so today is March 11th. It's a Sunday, and this past week has been the most exciting and the most devastating week of my life. I don't know how else to like bring it up, and it's just very difficult for me because I just don't know how to even react. I'll just go down the timeline from when I left off on the last video, which was talking about my IUI experience, my 2-week wait, all the other good stuff. And I think I left off at being 6 DPO, and I was talking about like my symptoms and things. So I was experiencing some symptoms, and I didn't know if it was from the Clomid that I was taking or the trigger shot that I had to take the day, like 2 days before my IUI. I didn't know, because the pregnancy hormone that the trigger shot was, that stays in your body up to, I think they said like up to like 10 days. So they didn't want you to take a pregnancy test because you can get a false positive. So yeah, so my IUI was January 19th, 2018. And yeah, I made my video. I like let you guys know everything and like how everything was going. After I made that video, my symptoms slowly started to fade. I didn't really experience any other symptoms. My irritability was pretty much gone. I was pretty much normal after that. I wasn't experiencing any cramping, nothing. And then at 11 DPO, I decided to take a pregnancy test, and I didn't do a live pregnancy test because I don't know, I just didn't want, I didn't feel like whipping out my camera and stuff, so I just took it on my own. And when I took that test, it was negative. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not pregnant. Like, by this time it should be showing, you know, the hormone should be in my body, because you implant, like implantation bleeding happens between 6 days past ovulation and 12. So I was at 11, so I had 1 more day. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not pregnant, so whatever, or I can just wait this 1 more day and try and take it tomorrow, whatever. The next day came, and I didn't have my period yet, because my period was supposed to come like that following Monday. When I was 11 DPO, that was like on a Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that. So I had a little time before my cycle was gonna come. So yeah, 12 DPO, everything was fine. I started cramping at work, and I was thinking like, oh my god, these may be like implantation cramps, like, you know, I read about this, everything like you know, stuff like that. And then I started spotting, you know, towards like the middle of the day, like after lunchtime, and like I was really freaking out because I was like, oh my god, like this might be implantation bleeding. I never spot before I come on my cycle. It's just pretty much like, you know, it's there, like, hey honey, I'm home. Like, that's kind of how it works. When I was spotting, it was weird for me because that's never happened, and I chalked everything up to like, oh, it's just the hormones in my body, it's just different things in my body that's never been there before, so my body's gonna react differently. So the bleeding was still pretty like light, like it like came and went and it came and went. It was just the weirdest thing ever. By the time I got home, my cramp started to get stronger, and at that point I kind of figured like, okay, maybe this might be my period, because they say implantation cramps don't get stronger. They're just like mild cramps throughout the day. They started off mild and then they got stronger towards the end of the night, and then my flow started to come. So at that point I chalked it up, okay, I'm not pregnant, this is my period. I called the office, the fertility office, that next day to let them know that I started my cycle, went in for my baseline, all that other good stuff. But I decided to not go forth in the month of February with another IUI, just because I just was like so devastated that it didn't work, and I was just upset. So I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna just wait until March. So my cycle was due March 1st, and I was just waiting on my cycle to come because I was gonna start another cycle of the IUI, and you know, I was gonna go from there. And you know, March 1st came, my period didn't come. March 2nd came, my period didn't come. So I come on very regularly, like either I'm 2 days early or I'm 2 days late, and or I'm exactly on time, like from what my app says. I come on like every 26 to 31 days. It was weird to me when my cycle didn't come on the 3rd of March. So the 3rd of March was the second day after it was supposed to come, and I was just thinking like, okay, like what's going on? My period's still not here. I haven't taken Clomid or any type of fertility medication since January, so I don't understand what this issue is. So on the, let me look at my phone to see the exact date. On the 6th of March, which was last Tuesday, I called the office, the fertility office, and I talked to the head nurse. I talked to the head nurse, and I told her like, hey ma'am, like does Clomid, you know, make your cycles irregular? Like what? Because my cycles are never irregular. Like I'm always on time. Like I don't understand what's going on. And she was like, yeah, Clomid can cause that, blah blah blah. She said just come in on Wednesday to get some labs drawn if your period doesn't come. So call me, let me know, I'll put some labs in and then you can get them drawn. So period still didn't come. So Wednesday I got some labs drawn, and she kept asking me like, is there any way that you're pregnant? Like I know that you're, you know, lesbian, but I have to ask these questions. And I was like, no, like, you know, I never did that before. And she was like, okay, I just have to ask. So she ordered like a whole bunch of tests, like progesterone test, pregnancy test, but they were like all blood tests. And then I went in and I got them drawn right on Wednesday. Not even an hour and a half later, I get a phone call from the doctor that did my IUI, and he was like, so do you want the good news or the bad news? And I was like, good news or the bad news? I truly thought he was going to tell me like, okay, your hormones are out of whack, you're not going to be able to do an IUI cycle for at least 2 or 3 cycles because we're going to have to get your periods on track, but it's nothing that we can't fix. Like I thought that's what, you know, he was going to say. But he was like, I asked him for the bad news first because I like to know like what's wrong right away. So he said, the bad news is that some levels that I'm seeing in your hormones, they don't look too good. But the good news is that you're pregnant. And I was like, huh? Like how am I pregnant? Like that was like the most like the craziest news I've ever heard, and I didn't know how to react. I didn't know if I should have been happy. I didn't know if I was supposed to be sad. I didn't know if I was supposed to be confused. Like I didn't know how I was supposed to react because he told me that I was pregnant. Grant, like I swear y'all, I've never had sex with a man before, ever, in my whole entire life, including last month. So it was impossible. Like I truly thought that I might have been, you know, the Virgin Mary. Like I'm dead ass serious, like for real. So like when he told me that, I was just so confused, and he was like, well, I have to ask you, you know, like did you do anything, because the levels that I'm seeing are consistent with someone who's 4 to 5 weeks pregnant and not 8, almost 9 weeks pregnant. And I was like, no, like I've never done any of that shit before. So he was like, okay, well, can you come in Thursday or Friday to get an ultrasound and get some more tests done? And I was like, yeah, I can come in Friday. So first thing Friday morning, I came in, I got my blood drawn, and then I got my ultrasound. So I didn't record any of this, guys, just because it was just such a, I don't know, just a weird moment for me, and it was very emotional, and I had to go to work, so like it was just, carrying my camera around just would have been really weird, to be honest. Even on my phone, it just would have been really weird, and everything happened so fast, so I didn't record that. But yeah, so he did an ultrasound, and when he did the ultrasound, he did a transvaginal ultrasound like I described in one of my earlier videos, and I'll link all my other videos below if you guys haven't seen any of them. Like if this is your first video of mine you're seeing, I'll just list everything below so you can see like the process. But he was looking in there and he couldn't find anything, like he couldn't see anything, and he was like, okay, well, you know, my suspicions are pretty accurate with how I'm feeling. And he told me that, you know, it's an ectopic pregnancy. An ectopic pregnancy is basically where the fertilized egg does not implant in your uterus, it implants somewhere outside the uterus. So ectopic means outside of the uterus. And in my case, we still don't even know where the embryo is. However, I do have the pregnancy hormones still in my body to this day. I still get positive pregnancy tests. Like, I have a digital test right here that I'm going to show you guys, showing that it does say that I'm pregnant, and by my hormones and everything, I am pregnant, but it's just not a normal pregnancy, so it had to be medically terminated. So on Friday, he let me know, like, yeah, like, I don't see anything in the uterus, even though, like, all your responses are normal. There's no blockages. I don't see anything, I don't see any cysts. I don't see anything that's out of the normal. So after we do this, you know, injection, then you'll be able to be good after like 4 to 8 weeks, and then you can try again in about 12 weeks. So I was like, okay, well, that was, I don't know, it was just a lot it was a lot to process, because going from thinking that, okay, your IUI didn't work, to you missing your period, to them telling you that you're pregnant, to you basically losing your baby, like, it was just a lot of emotions going on. And I still feel a lot of emotion, and I feel myself like trying to be strong, but it's just very sad because, you know, I've never created life before. I've never had a pregnancy scare before. I've never been in a situation where, you know, being a mom was a possibility until now. So to me, I just feel like, you know, the life that I created just was short-lived, and it's just sad because you never know, like, what that child could have been. Medically and logically, it's logical for them to terminate the pregnancy to keep me safe so I can try again in about 3 months. So that's pretty much where I am now. I don't even know. I don't know. It's just been I've been in a weird space, and it happened on Friday, and today's Sunday, so it's very soon after. I am kind of happy that I didn't update you guys on the IUI and everything before this moment, because I would have had to come back on here and tell you guys, like, hey, no, I was pregnant, you know. That would have just been doing a lot. But I was emotionally, you know, strained from me believing that the IUI didn't work, and now I'm kind of emotionally strained now knowing that it did work, which is very, you know, rare, not rare, but it's unlikely that the first time an IUI will work. Most people have to try like 3 to 4 times for the IUI to even work. So for me, the fact that it happened the first time, it just lets me know that, you know, my body works, and, you know, all the other good stuff. And since I've been pregnant and I've had the hormone in my body will be more open to accepting the embryo versus like fighting it off if I, you know, get pregnant later on down the line. But yeah, so I am still currently pregnant. However, on Friday they had to inject this chemotherapeutic medication into both glutes. It was like 1 shot on each glute, and I'll put the name up here or over here, one of these areas, so you guys can see what it's called, and then I'll leave like a little definition of it, or like a link to it for ectopic pregnancy, like what it's used for, down below, so you guys can read a little bit up on it if you are going through an ectopic pregnancy or something like that and they have to treat you with this medicine. I'm just grateful that I don't have to do major surgery. It's just a shot for me, and they're gonna track my levels, and if they don't go down as fast as they want them to, then I have to get another set of injections, which is fine with me, just as long as I'm still healthy and I'm able to bear a child later on. I'm good with that. Basically right now where I'm at, I had the injections on Friday. I am still technically pregnant as far as the hormone in my body, but the medication that they gave me is supposed to stop the growth of the embryo, so it's supposed to stop the growth of cells that form rapidly, which is what an embryo is pretty much. And they are going to track my levels, make sure that they're going down fast enough, and they're going to just monitor me, and then once I start my cycle and I get regular again, then we'll be able to try again. Like I said, I am still pretty down about it. However, I'm just blessed that, you know, it's not as bad as it could be. And also another thing that makes it easier is that I wasn't connected to the child the whole time. So it's not like, you know, I found out that I was pregnant when I was 8 weeks and 5 days, according to the IUI. So I'm currently 9 weeks and 2 days, just by the timeline. And like he said, my levels should have been way higher than they were. They should have been in like the 100 to 200,000s, and mine was only at 920. So he knew from when I told him everything that it probably was going to be abnormal, and yeah, so we went from there. But yeah, guys, I haven't really been in pain since I had the injections. I've had some cramping, and even before I found out that I was pregnant, I was having cramping around the 1st, which was around the time that I was supposed to start my cycle, which is normal for me. I have premenstrual cramps like a few days before my cycle comes on anyway, so that was normal. Those were the only symptoms that I really had. And also another symptom, basically over the past month, I've noticed my breasts. So my breasts have grown, not like tremendously, but they're more fuller. They were a little bit more tender, and I truly thought, I didn't notice the tenderness until about 2 weeks before my positive pregnancy test, but I did notice just them feeling a little heavier and fuller. And like I had like nipple sensitivity on my left nipple. I'm sorry if this is TMI, but like I said in my videos before, like this is gonna be a TMI channel when it comes to this operation, baby. But yeah, so it was just my left nipple, and I thought maybe it was because like I have my nipples pierced, and I thought that maybe like I was getting an infection or something like that in that nipple. But nope, it was because I was producing the pregnancy hormone. So I am trying to stay strong. I'm trying to remain positive, and you know, the next cycle that I try, I'm just gonna try and be as open-minded as possible and not so negative and not so micromanaging, because I feel like I'm just gonna stress myself out and psych myself out. And if I truly just calm down and just let my body work, I feel like it'll happen at that point. So yeah, guys, I am technically pregnant right now, technically 9 weeks and 2 days, but this pregnancy will not last. This is not a viable pregnancy. He said I can try again in about 3 months, and in about 3 months it should be June-ish time frame, so that'll be good. I won't be like big, fat, and pregnant in the middle of the summer, because it gets pretty hot here in Texas. So yeah. Oh, I also forgot another symptom. A symptom that I've been having after the injection is just hot flashes. I've been pretty hot, and she said that's normal. She said cramping is normal. I've been having a little bit of cramping, but it's not like excruciating pain, it's just mild cramping. And then she just and I've been kind of dizzy, so like if I stand up too fast I get a little lightheaded. But I've been trying to hydrate and make sure that I'm as healthy as possible and like have less complications on my side. I haven't been drinking, and when you get these injections you cannot drink. And if you are in a heterosexual relationship, they recommend that you don't have sex, just because you are trying to, like, you know, terminate that last pregnancy. And if you get pregnant while that one's, you know, that's probably going to be a disaster. So they recommend not having sex for at least 7 days. And also another thing that they recommend is that you stop taking your prenatal vitamins because of the folic acid, and the folic acid helps encourage the growth and development of the baby. That's pretty much it. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and this video was hard. It was hard to make, but I'm just trying to be honest with you guys, and if I can be a help to somebody else, I would love to be a help. And I told you guys that I would update you guys on everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. Oh my god, I'm about to start crying. I was just gonna update you guys on everything, and I just really hope you see where I'm coming from, and just know that it is possible to, you know, experience a loss early on in your pregnancy. And if you have experienced a loss, like an ectopic pregnancy or a miscarriage, just know that you're not alone, and there are people out there who have experienced the same thing. And if any of you guys need somebody to talk to, if you're going through the same thing that I am, then I'm here for you guys. And it just feels good to know that, you know, other people are there for you. And ever since I told like some people that I'm close with, they let me know the same thing, like they've been through the same thing. So you never know who's been through the same thing, and I'm just so grateful to have people who love me and care about me around me, and people that are here, you know, for me, and they just want to see me happy. I am happy and I am blessed, guys. Like, I don't want you guys to think that, you know, I'm taking advantage of the opportunity that I have. I know that I'm blessed. Even being able to conceive a child, even be able to have the finances to pay for the specimen, for me to get pregnant, for me to have insurance, you know, things like that. Like, I'm just blessed. Like, you know, there's some people who don't have what I have, and that keeps me, like, humble, you know what I'm saying? Like, to not get too down on myself and everything like that. And there are people who, you know, have stillbirths and who have miscarriages, like, later on down in their pregnancy. So you know, stuff happens. And again, like I said, I just want you guys to know that if any of you have experienced this or you're going through this, please feel free to hit me up on anything, any social media platform. I'll leave them all down below in the description box. So if you guys need anyone to talk to, you can hit me up on here, anywhere. I just don't want you guys to feel like you're alone. Yeah, so I hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and I will keep you guys updated on Operation Baby. This is not over. I'll keep you guys updated on my progress as far as my HCG levels and what the doctor recommends for me to do next. I'll let you know when I completely have a negative test and when we're going to be able to start again. I'm going to let you guys know everything. I will keep you guys updated as often as possible. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for your love and support. I just really appreciate you guys, and I say that in every video, and I mean it wholeheartedly. Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate you.